Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gomansing. Topping our newscast tonight, the ongoing issues and concerns of the LBJ Housing Community on St. Croix has led News 2 to do an update on the situation. Currently, approximately 15 units are still in use at the housing community. News 2's Shanika Robinson has an update.
After receiving several phone calls from residents in the LBJ Gardens Housing Community in Estate Richmond on St. Croix, we decided to follow up with the concerns of the remaining residents.
Notification was given to the residents of the LBJ Garden of the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority's plans not to renew leases and plans for eventual demolition because of the deplorable state that the units were in.
Some residents whom were living there for 30+ years are still concerned that there are other ways to handle the situation.
The Virgin Islands Housing Management, Inc., its nonprofit arm, began assisting the residents to identifying other suitable housing. That also included working with the Virgin Islands Housing Authority, as well as some families were able to access information on bringing their homeownership dreams to a reality.
A few remaining residents at LBJ are very concerned about the time frame they have left on the premises. One resident who wishes to remain unnamed mentioned that the deadline to move out of the apartments were December of 2013, and at this time they're currently still waiting on final plans on a home to move into.
To date, 15 families remain in the LBJ Gardens, with 7 of them waiting for units from the Virgin Islands Housing Authority. Others have plans to relocate on the open market, as well as some have also homeownership plans that we've been assisting them with.
Several residents mentioned that the time frame was too short of a notice for them to pack up their lives and relocate.
We understand that it is a difficult time. Some families have lived there for many years, but we've tried to assist them to ensure that their experience, as well as whatever supportive services that they need, they can access.
A demolition date has not yet been set, but the teams are currently working to get the area cleared.
Currently, we have some employees that are performing pre-demolition work. We've not begun the official process for demolition, and that should be done shortly.
Shanika Robinson, News 2.
Be sure to count on News 2 to keep you updated. A federal search warrant authorizing federal agents to search the Golden Grove Adult Correctional and Detention Facility in St. Croix for illegal contraband was executed Monday night. This announcement came from Ronald Sharp, United States Attorney for the District of the Virgin Islands, the DEA, and the FBI San Juan Field Division. The search warrant authorized federal agents to search inmates' cells and certain common areas such as the prison yard and workshop areas for illegal contraband, weapons, controlled substances, and cellular telephones. The search is part of a multi-year federal investigation involving the smuggling of illegal contraband into Golden Grove by correctional officers, inmates, and others. The affidavit states that numerous inmates regularly possess illegal contraband. Former searches have resulted in the seizure of marijuana, weapons such as shanks and knives, cellular telephones, telephone chargers, SIM cards, and cable boxes. There were no arrests in connection with today's search. Meanwhile, Senator Kenneth Gittens expressed his disappointment upon hearing the news of the search. He said it has been approximately 1 year during a committee hearing on St. Thomas where it became evident that there were glaring problems in our prison system, mainly at Golden Grove. He said he noted all the reasons in Bill number 30-0276 that showed evidence of Director Julius Wilson's inefficiencies as a leader. As noted in previous news releases, the DeYoung Francis administration has taken exception with the 30th legislature's position through Resolution 1808, he said, which asked for the resignation of the Bureau of Corrections Director. He said, unfortunately, the local administration have taken the same posture with the federal government by pushing back when advised to increase the progress at Golden Grove. He said, let us do right by putting a person or a team of persons capable of leading and correcting the glaring concerns of our prison system in place. Count on 2 to keep you updated. The Senate Committee on Education and Workforce Development met at the Earl B. Otley Legislative Building on Monday to tackle the proposed change to the school calendar. Bill number 30-0355 proposes to start the school year earlier, but hurdles like a struggling budget have slowed it down. Now, the latest development from News 2's April Knight.
Public schools could experience a significant shift this year as the Senate reviews legislation that could mean, starting 2014, school starts 2 weeks early. The legislation put forward in 2012 was supposed to enable students to complete the fall semester in one go instead of going on break and then returning 2 weeks later to take their final exams. Some parents are concerned that the break right before exams adversely affects student achievement. Objections to an earlier start of the school year point to an estimated $3.2 million in just the first year of implementation, an extra expense that Governor John DeYoung frowned upon, while a $40 billion deficit hangs over the government. But education officials say it can be done. They can avoid paying teachers the extra 10 working days that the early start entails by extending Christmas break by 7 days. The balance of 3 days could be found somewhere in the flexible school year.
We knew we wanted to do it, but it would come at a cost. And then we realized we didn't have the money, so repeal it. This body's the one said we are not going to repeal it, so go get your plan B.
I understand.
So this is what we've done.
Union leaders are okay with the proposal as long as their members are not adversely affected.
What is your time frame for wanting to have it all finalized and to have a notice go out to the public?
We have to figure out when folks can meet, but we are ready to move this. We would like to move it no later than the following week.
The department have worked the issue out. They have to stop and talk to the stakeholders. So in all fairness, I think this bill should be held. If their negotiation breakdown, there's a bill here to allow, but I think they're on the right track moving forward to do what they're doing.
If the bill is passed, the new school schedule could start this year, and schools are bracing for what could be a challenging transition. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Bill number 30-0355 can be accessed via the Senate website, and that's www.legvi.org. The bill will again be held in review at a regular Senate session on April 14th and 15th. As we reported on Monday night's newscast, the Florida USVI Poison Information Center is making their rounds in the territory this week. The poison awareness team is visiting schools and government agencies to help residents brush up on their knowledge about poison prevention and poison awareness. They encourage residents to utilize the poison hotline at 1-800-222-1222 to report poison-related incidents or even just to ask questions.
We're doing presentations for the whole week in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We're trying to spread awareness about poison prevention and poison awareness and the availability of the Poison Center services. We're going to be discussing preventative measures of how to prevent poisonings in the home and what some of the most common poisonings children get into and some of the common medication mistakes that seniors make. And we're also going to discuss lookalikes, things that look alike, especially in the eyes of a child, and the reason that they get into a lot of the things that they do.
And here are some more poison awareness presentations scheduled for the rest of the week on St. Croix, April 9th. That's 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Charles Harwood Medical Complex. Then a community presentation at Gertrude's Restaurant at 2 to 3:30 p.m. On St. Thomas, Wednesday, it will be at the Department of Health office in Tutu Park Mall from 10 to 4. Then on Thursday, April 10th, on St. Thomas at the Wesleyan Academy starting at 9 a.m., then at the Schneider Hospital from 10:30 to 12 noon. Meanwhile, poison awareness activities this week are part of the National Public Health Week. The VA Department of Health has been holding public presentations, which started on Monday. You can catch up at tomorrow's presentation starting 9 a.m. at the Department of Health office in Tutu Park Mall. President Obama is pushing ahead without Congress to try to cut the pay gap between men and women. Today, he signed executive orders to combat pay discrimination and help enforce equal pay laws already on the books. Craig Boswell is at the White House with more.
President Obama signed 2 executive orders meant to help close the gap between men and women's pay. The president pointed to census figures showing women earn 77 cents for every dollar a man earns.
This is not just an issue of fairness, it's also a family issue and an economic issue, because women make up about half of our workforce.
The first executive order enables federal contract workers to openly discuss their salaries without employer reprisal. The second requires federal contractors to report salary data to the Labor Department broken down by gender and race. Critics call the White House hypocritical, pointing to studies showing women working here earn 88 cents for every dollar a male White House staffer earns. Obama administration officials say the White House pay gap is because of differences in job experience, education, and hours worked. Republicans say those same differences affect private employers.
Many women seek jobs that provide more flexibility for their families over more money, which is the choice that I made as a young working mom.
The GOP calls this Democratic effort a ploy for women's votes. Craig Boswell for CBS News, the White House.
Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, U.S. stocks rebounded after 3 days of declines. Stocks that had dropped like Facebook, Google, and Amazon were up. On the lighter side, Ben & Jerry's offered free ice cream cones today all over the world. Free Cone Day is an annual tradition that goes back to 1979. It's the company's way of saying thank you to customers. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. Everything up, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P, the Dow 10, NASDAQ 33, S&P 6. Coming up on News 2, Tony Award-winning actor Charles Dutton will be making an appearance at UVI with a presentation called From Jail to Yale. Did you know he went to prison at 17 years old for manslaughter conviction? His story will definitely captivate you. We'll be right back. WAPA crews have been busy installing electrical underground conduits as the work continues, so some road closures are scheduled on General Gata St. Thomas for several events this week. Closures are scheduled for 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. tonight, April 8th, and also on Friday, April 11th, and from 6 a.m. Saturday, April 12th to 6 p.m. Sunday, April 13th. During the installation, the roadway from Comprinsen's Gata to the USO building will be closed to vehicular traffic. Motorists are asked to observe signs and flaggers' directions. The area will not be accessible to pedestrians. No electrical or water interruption is anticipated during these times, and every effort will be made to restore traffic to this area as quickly as possible, according to WAPA. A cultural extravaganza was held at the Claudemarco Elementary School on St. Croix to wrap up the February-March months of Black History and VI history. During those 2 months, teachers focused on the education of VI history and various islands, including foods, dances, and more. The cultural finale event consisted of meals that were prepared by each class from kindergarten through 6th grade, representing a different island in the Caribbean. Dishes such as fish and fungi, saltfish and dumpling, and roti, as well as pastries like Vienna and sugar cake were all prepared. Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights provided entertainment for the cultural school dancers, and the school's masqueraders gave a high-energy performance for those in attendance. Well, this Thursday night, Ranger Ronaldo Rivera and members of the law enforcement staff for the 3 National Park units on St. Croix will give the monthly lecture. The topic, Marine Enforcement. It will highlight many of the roles that NPS Rangers fulfill on the open water at all 3 parks. The discussion will include sharing jurisdiction and current joint efforts with the Enforcement Division of the Department of Planning and Natural Resources, the Virgin Islands Police Department, and the United States Coast Guard. Now that's on Thursday, April 10th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the Danish Guinea West India Company Warehouse Slave Market Building. He received his high school equivalency degree, or GED, in prison and started a drama group there. We are talking about 61-year-old Charles Dutton, who is a Tony Award-winning actor, as well as a celebrated TV and movie star. He will be presenting From Jail to Yale, serving time on stage. It's straight talk and humor about his life, how he first went to prison at 17 years old for a manslaughter conviction and turned his life around. UVI presents the Alfred O'Heath Lecture Series on St. Thomas. That will be on April 9th at 5:30 at the Reichel Center, and then St. Croix, April 10th, 6 p.m. at Great Hall, UVI. Admission is free and it's open to the entire community. There's a stage play coming your way. The play, entitled Were You There? It's going to be held at the MCM Center at Antilles School on Friday at 8 p.m. It utilizes some 20 local actors to work with some of the original stateside cast.
It depicts the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It talks about his suffering, and we have a main person that tells the story about how he was following Jesus.
When I auditioned, I read maybe a sentence and a half, and Dad said, "That's Pilate."
One of my favorite scenes is the blind man as he comes out and he's healed and he begins to sing his song. Another favorite scene I enjoy is Pilate's entrance, his main entrance as he comes out.
Well, be sure to check that play out. It's going to be spectacular. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.